Hi guys, it's Ksenia. Welcome back to my channel. So spring is just around the corner and I could not be more excited for it to start getting dark at like 8 or 9 instead of like 5. Spring and summer is just where I thrive. Seasonal depression is a real thing, and the fall and winter, I'm like just going down. My birthday is coming up. My birthday is April 7th, so it's just a lot of good things, good vibes coming up. So in light of the upcoming springtime, I have 10 springtime perfumes to share with you guys. These perfumes are so good. They're gonna make you smell like an ethereal spring goddess for this season. They are just like the best of the best. These are honestly some of my favorite perfumes all gathered up into one. So truly, these are like the only 10 perfumes you need for this season. I have made 2 other spring perfume recommendations videos in the past couple years, and those are still some amazing recommendations, so I highly recommend you check those out. I will link both the videos in my description box. I'm obviously not including any repeats in this video, even though those are some great options. So all of these are all new perfumes that I haven't talked about in those videos. And I did try to make it a point to include different price points, so I do have higher end options as well as more affordable options. Also, I feel like my voice sounds a little hoarse. I don't know what's going on. I'm having like a flare-up situation, and yeah, I sound like a 12-year-old boy going through puberty. With all that being said, before we get into this video, please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel if you haven't already, and let's get into it. I don't know if it's in the frame, but if you can see over there my roses, I was about to say they're dying. They're dead. My husband got them for me for Valentine's Day, and when was Valentine's Day? It's been a minute, so I need to throw this away. Okay, we're gonna start off with an affordable perfume, and I'm so excited to talk about this perfume because I have not talked about this perfume ever since I hauled it like a year ago or more. I don't even know the exact time that I got this. I remember filming like a celebrity perfume haul, and then I just never talked about it ever again. In fact, I never really even used it that much. And in preparation for this video, I was going into my collection and I'm like, oh my god, why have I not talked about this more? First of all, this is a perfect spring and summertime scent. It's also kind of the perfect moment to talk about this because if you're on TikTok at all, then you know about the whole Selena Gomez, Hailey Bieber, Justin Bieber, all of that drama that's going on. Let me just say first and foremost, I am a Selena Gomez stan and I always will be. Alex Russo literally shaped my entire personality. When I first moved to the US, I did not have a good time. I would get bullied. We don't need to go into all of that. But long story short, Wizards of Waverly Place was like my comfort show. I love that show so much, and ever since then I have loved Selena Gomez. I don't have like celebrities that I idolize or anything like that, because at the end of the day they're just people. People put celebrities on this like pedestal and like they're just people. It's not that crazy, but I love Selena Gomez. I feel like I relate to her, and I honestly feel like if I knew her we would be friends. I'm obsessed with Rare Beauty, and this perfume is actually a Selena Gomez perfume. Let me know if you guys even knew that Selena Gomez had a perfume. I didn't. Before I bought this perfume, I had no idea. If I had known Selena Gomez had a perfume, that would have been like the first perfume I ever bought before I even started my perfume collection. When I found out that she had a perfume, I went on a hunt to try to find it. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of this bottle. It's wild. It's a wild bottle. It's very long. It has like these little lips. I don't know. It's an interesting bottle. I definitely wish it was a little bit more like just small and compact, but I feel like for the time that this came out, it did kind of suit the times. I think this came out like, I don't know the exact date, but I'll put it up right here. It was definitely like almost a decade ago, so I feel like for that time it was fitting, but now it's just like it's a little much. But what matters more than the packaging is obviously the juice. So this fragrance, I can't believe I have not worn this more because this smells so good. I'm actually wearing it today and I have not been able to stop smelling it ever since I sprayed this on. Like the projection of this is actually so good. It's so much stronger than you would think because this is more so like a fruity scent more than anything else. There's a ton of fruits in here, but I feel like because there is some depth to it, it actually has such delicious notes. If you are a sweet perfume lover, I think you would love this. This isn't necessarily gourmand, but the notes that it has, if you love sweet perfumes, I think they will definitely resonate with you. This perfume has top notes of pineapple, raspberry, peach, and orange, middle notes of blackberry, freesia, and musk, and base notes of dark chocolate, vanilla, coconut, and amber. This perfume barely has any florals in it. It just has freesia. So you can kind of scratch off floral as the category of this perfume because there's no floral scent to this at all. It is literally all fruits, but like really sweet fruits that have a lot of depth to them. It's not exactly like a fresh scent, even though it does have freesia, and even though it does have all of those like bright, juicy fruits, they all have like this depth to them, and I think that's because of the base notes, because the base notes are so creamy and just delicious. Like you get dark chocolate, vanilla, coconut, amber. There's actually a lot of comparison with this perfume and Love Spell by Victoria's Secret, which if you've been watching my channel, you know, not a fan of Love Spell, but I don't really get that in here. This just smells like purple berries to me. It smells purple. It's really sweet, but I do feel like it's also really easy to wear, which is why I'm including it as a springtime scent. One of the first reviews on Fragrantica literally says chocolate covered pineapples. They're onto something, because yes, I agree. If chocolate covered pineapples was a thing, it probably is. I don't know, I've never had one. That's literally what this smells. Next scent, this is by Victoria's Secret, and it's one of my favorite Victoria's Secret scents that actually doesn't smell like a Victoria's Secret scent, but something that a designer would put out. This is called Very Sexy Oasis. This entire Very Sexy line has a lot of really high-end smelling perfumes. I know that the Very Sexy, the original one, like that's in a red bottle, has a lot of popularity and people really liked it. Personally, it kind of was a lot of patchouli to me, and it didn't sit well on my skin, but this one, this Oasis version, I don't know if this is like a new one or what, but this is so pretty. When I smell this, I think of me wearing like an all white linen outfit, like beachy outfit. It's not like it necessarily screams beachy vibes or tropical vibes or anything like that, but it's just so clean. This is an all floral scent, but there's character to it and it's not too mature. It's the perfect floral blend. There's literally only 3 notes in this perfume, and those are tuberose, orange blossom, and camellia. They're all florals, so you would think that this would be, you know, just screaming floral. Maybe for somebody that doesn't like florals, you'd be like repulsed by this, but no. There is something so good about this. I definitely smell the tuberose. There's a powdery element to it, and normally I'm not a huge fan of like super powdery scents, but in here, it's just like a perfect dose of powderiness. It is literally spring in a bottle. This perfume has so much personality. I do think this smells super sexy, and I know you're thinking like, how can a more like clean floral scent be sexy? But it just is. It is a really highly complimented scent because it just smells so good, but it's also unique. It's a crowd pleaser, but in a unique way. Like, it's not a fragrance that smells like a million other fragrances. Like, I don't have any other perfume in my entire collection that smells like this. It's just a lovely tuberose orange blossom mixture. It slightly has that, you know, tuberosey bubblegum scent to it that tuberose kind of sometimes can come off as. A really flirty scent, like flirty, sexy, all the vibes. This fragrance I recently just talked about in my most recent perfume haul that I did, but I will not be putting this fragrance down in springtime. This is Burberry Body Tender. This is a flanker to the original Burberry Body line. I think I had the EDP. I decluttered it out of my collection because Burberry Body is a very specific scent. It's very unique. It's very clean and soapy and floral, and I feel like the original version kind of came off a little too mature on my skin. And I told you guys the whole story about how I discovered this scent. I'll give you a small little snippet of what I said in my perfume haul. If you want to hear the full story, go see my perfume haul. I will link it up here wherever it is. But long story short, I discovered this when I was in Greece this past summer, and I fell in love with it. And before I left Greece, I was trying to search for it in every single store I could not find it. They had the fragrance, but it was out of stock. And then randomly, a couple months later, once I came to the US, I went into a TJ Maxx store and I saw it there and I flipped out. I was so excited. It's the epitome of a elegant, sexy, classy woman. Like, she just has it all together. Her life is all together. She has like a 25-step skincare routine that she does every single morning. There's something so calming about this one. And as far as the differences within this and the original, again, I spoke about it a little bit more elaborately in my past video, but Basically the difference is this is just so much more pretty, and I feel like Tender is, yeah, it's the perfect name. It's so soft and elegant, and it has more of like this pink vibe to it that just kind of tones down the maturity level. I feel like this one is definitely kind of the more youthful version of the original Burberry body. This has top notes of warm wood, apple, lemon, and peach. Middle notes of rose, tea, jasmine, and sandalwood, and base notes of musk, cashmere wood, amber, and vanilla. So as you can see, you have a little bit of everything. You have a little bit of fruits, lots of florals as you would expect, and then kind of like that woody, ambery, sweet dry down. I think the fact that this has tea is definitely what makes this so soothing. Like there's something about this, like when you smell it, you just feel calm. It's like rosy, a little bit green, a little bit sweet, but not too much of everything. It's just a perfect mixture. I'm including these next two fragrances as one. I'm not gonna count them separately because to me they smell almost the exact same. And I feel like I'm just gonna kind of interchange between the two this season, but I decided to talk about both because although they both smell really similar, they also have tiny little differences. So just count this out as one, but I'm talking about the original Juicy Couture. I get so many compliments on this. It's such a crowd pleaser scent. I feel like we all know this about Juicy Couture fragrances. They just have something in them that literally people love. Anytime you smell anybody wearing a Juicy Couture scent, you just automatically like how it smells. Whether you think it's a basic scent or not, I don't think anybody can deny that they all actually smell really freaking good. And I've always been such a fan of the original version. I obviously love Viva La Juicy, and there's a ton of other Juicy Couture fragrances I really love. And those are all a lot sweeter, so you would think this would be my least favorite because this one is actually more than anything a very floral scent. A lot of like white florals, if anything, and I'm like the total opposite of a white floral lover. But there's something about this. The composition of this just reels me in. So let me tell you what those notes are, and then we can break down what this actually smells like because I feel like the two are pretty different. This has top notes of watermelon, passion fruit, hyacinth, green apple, marigold, green leaves, and mandarin orange. Middle notes of tuberose, lily, and rose hip, and base notes of creme brulee, caramel, vanilla, precious woods, and patchouli. Considering you see all of those amazing fruits, like the watermelon, the passion fruit, the apple, they're all like these bright, juicy fruits that have a lot of sweetness to them. And then you take a look at the creme brulee at the base, the caramel. You would imagine this would be a really sweet fragrance with a lot of maybe even like a gourmand scent to it, and it does not. It's actually very floral. It's sweet floral, definitely, but it's floral. But I don't know, it's just florals done in such a good way. It feels serious and playful at the same time. It's just such a good fragrance. Like this is easily a signature scent and literally one that will get you compliments. I don't know what else to say about that, but it's like one of my most complimented scents. And then speaking of that, Rose is Greedy by MANCERA has a bit of a higher price point, but honestly, they smell very similar to me. Rose is Greedy kind of has similar-ish notes. This perfume has top notes of peach, blackcurrant, mandarin orange, coconut, pink pepper, middle notes of rose, flowers, jasmine, and base notes of white musk, sugar, vanilla, amber, and benzoin. Rose is Greedy, obviously because of the name, this is a very heavy rose scent, and rose is one of my least favorite notes. I like struggle saying that because there's perfumes that have rose in it that I love, and then there's perfumes that have rose in it that I hate. I guess what I hate is when rose notes are too synthetic in a perfume, and it's just like it smells like it's almost gone bad. Like it's that really heavy mature rose that I hate. And in here, the rose, even though it's very strong and it's like the #1 thing I smell, it's a very fresh rosy scent. Like it almost gives me rose water type of scent. And I love the scent of rose water. I literally keep rose water with me everywhere, and I just spray my face. It's a really like refreshing scent, and that's kind of what it is in here, but it's also mixed with some sweeter notes, so it's not just like basic rose water. I feel like that would be pretty boring, but with the combination of like the muskiness, the sugar, the vanilla, and those fruits, it kind of elevates it. And it's just, I mean, it's a MANCERA scent at the end of the day, which is like more of a niche fragrance house, and their fragrances are a little bit more on the pricier side, so it definitely gives you that expensive smelling scent. It's basically like the Juicy Couture scent. I would say they're about 90% similar. This one just definitely smells more high-end. But if you want a similar scent to this on a budget, go for the original Juicy Couture. That'll get you almost the exact same scent. Let's talk about another one of my absolute favorite perfumes. This is KAYLA Eden Juicy Apple. Before I even get started on this, how many of you guys have seen the brand new KAYLA fragrance that they just released? They haven't released it, but they came out with all the notes and how it's gonna look like. It's the, I don't even know what it's called. It's like this pistachio themed KAYLA fragrance. And the notes, I think there's like whipped cream, there's pistachio, there's like cotton candy. It literally seems like my dream fragrance. I don't know what that fragrance is going to smell like, but you better believe as soon as it comes out, I think it comes out March 21st. As soon as that fragrance comes out, I am getting my hands on it because all the advertising that they're doing on that scent is really mean. A+ on the advertising of that scent because I am so excited to get my hands on it, and as soon as I do, I will make a video on it. But anyways, back to this. Juicy Apple is such a beautiful fragrance, and I feel like it's such a beautiful springtime scent, summertime scent, because it is pretty sweet and it has like this candy apple. It literally smells like a bright red candy apple that you get at like the fair, but there's still this like freshness to it, although it has a lot of sweetness at the same time. Because usually a lot of sweet scents will literally knock you out when it's super hot outside. Like that's the last thing you want to wear, but this one is very wearable for this type of weather. The notes in here are to die for. Let me just say, if you are a lover of like candy, apple, and berries, just go ahead and buy this. Even if you haven't smelled it, I feel like if you love those notes, this is a really safe blind buy. This has top notes of red apple, lychee, black currant, pink grapefruit, middle notes of wild berries, raspberry bloom, jasmine, and May rose, with base notes of sugar, musk, vanilla flower, moss, and amber. This fragrance actually has a very affordable little dupe, if you guys want to know what that is. My next video will be another perfume dupes video, like cheaper perfumes that smell like high-end perfumes. This will be one of them, and you guys are gonna have to stay tuned to see which perfume is almost honestly like a pure double of this fragrance at a much cheaper cost. Anyways, back to this. There's not much I can say about the description of this other than straight up smells like a bright juicy apple at first. Then once it dries down, it becomes a bright juicy candy apple, but a candy apple that has like a berry essence, like blueberry, raspberry, all the berries. Basically that scent is like infused in the candy apple, and that is what you get out of Eden Juicy Apple. Could not do this video without talking about my new favorite fragrance. This is very new to me. This is by Jo Malone. This is my first little step into the Jo Malone world. I honestly don't think I'll be buying very many Jo Malone fragrances, but there is one. When I get that fragrance will literally become my new signature scent. But it's a little on the expensive side, so I'm waiting for it for a minute. And no, it's not wood sage and sea salt, because I know I've talked about wood sage and sea salt in my past few videos and I said how much I like it. That's a great one too, but no. I have discovered the best Jo Malone fragrance. If you guys can guess, based off my taste, if you can guess which Jo Malone fragrance that is, please leave it in the comments and I'll let you know if you got it right. As soon as I get my hands on that scent, I will be unstoppable. Back to this. This is Peony and Blush Suede. This is definitely, out of all of the fragrances in this line, this was my favorite. It had a little bit more of like a sweet factor than all the other ones, which were mainly more like on the fresher side. This is still not like the sweetest fragrance ever, but it's sweet. It has sweetness to it. And I just love the combo within that Peony and then the Blush Suede. The suede aspect just gives this like, it had depth. It was the first fragrance from the Jo Malone fragrances I smelled that had depth to it, whereas the other ones were like fresh and airy. And it also happened to be the longest lasting one out of the range. These fragrances are like $155, but they do not last. Like, they're notorious for not lasting at all, which is such a bummer because they are high end. So it's like, for that price point, they need to last more than an hour. And this one still is not the best performing, but it does last me like a good 4 to 5 hours, and I can work with that. This has top notes of red apple, middle notes of peony, rose, carnation, and jasmine, and base notes of suede. It just smells so sophisticated to me. It smells like money. It smells rich, like a woman in a suit type of vibes, but like it's clean and elegant at the same way. It feels effortless. It feels elegant, it feels beautiful, it feels feminine. It just has all those vibes combined into one. I feel like this would make for such a beautiful wedding day scent. It's basically like a soft peony scent with some rose intertwined into it, and then that leathery suede aspect is definitely prominent in here. And usually those type of scents don't always do well on my skin. Like leathery type of scents kind of translate smoky on my skin. I don't know if any of you guys also have that, and that one doesn't. Like it's very smooth and it doesn't weigh down the fragrance. It's just super uplifting, I think, because of the combo with the other notes. It's so beautiful. Let's take it back down to a very affordable fragrance. I think you can get this for like 17 bucks. This is a ZARA perfume. This is called Wonder Rose. This is hands down, I was gonna say one of my favorites, but I think this actually might be my favorite ZARA fragrance that I've ever tried. This smells like gummy bears. Like it smells like candy. Don't be put off by the fact that this is called Wonder Rose. There is nothing rosy about this fragrance. I smell like berries, I smell fruits, I smell vanilla. There actually isn't even rose in the notes, so I have no idea why they call this Wonder Rose. The notes in here are pear, red fruits, and vanilla. No rose, in fact, no florals in sight in this fragrance. So yeah, just a little weird on the name, but anyways, this is so good. It's like, it's light and fresh, but there's sweetness to it. It smells like candy. It literally smells like fruity, gummy candy. And the more it dries down, the more that vanilla gets like a little more prominent. It kind of smells like if you were to use like a really sweet body wash in the shower, and then you come out of the shower, like that scent that lingers from that sweet body wash, that's what this gives me. It's so freaking good. I love Wonder Rose. Still wondering why it's called Wonder Rose, but I guess that's probably why it's called Wonder Rose, because you're wondering like where the rose is. Okay, hear me out. I will not speak on it for too long, but this perfume, it's spring in a bottle. If I could include one perfume in this entire video, it would be this. This is Dolce by Dolce & Gabbana. I discovered this perfume randomly in a CVS. It was like 40 bucks. This fragrance has changed my life. Honestly, I feel like this is the fragrance that made me kind of step into loving floral scents. If you've been with me for a while on my channel and you followed my fragrance journey, I feel like in the beginning of my channel, I used to show really, really sweet perfumes, and I used to say how much I loved sweet gourmands and how much I hated florals. And then I've been kind of dipping my feet into the floral world slowly, and I feel like this was one of the first fragrances that was like a floral scent that I just fell in love with. And after this, I actually kind of like florals now. There is something about this. Like, this is such a beautiful scent. It smells like springtime. It's a floral that doesn't smell too mature. It doesn't smell synthetic. It doesn't smell like just too much. Like, this is why I love traveling with perfumes, because when you come back from your vacation, then that perfume just takes you back to that memory. I brought this with me in Greece and Albania this past summer. I brought like 20 perfumes on that trip with me, like insane. I know, I don't know why I brought that many, but out of all the perfumes that I brought, this was like my number one. This is all I wanted to wear. It was hot over there. I didn't want to be weighed down, but I still wanted to smell good. And this is literally, when I tell you, it was my number one perfume that I wore. It's such a feminine scent. It's so feminine to the point where it's sexy because it's so feminine. This has top notes of neroli, papaya flower, middle notes of water lily, narcissus, amaryllis, and base notes of musk and cashmere. It's a nice mixture of being really floral, but also it has like an aquatic vibe, which I think makes it really appropriate for spring and summertime. It's so good. Even if you don't love florals, I highly recommend this. You're gonna smell so beautiful. Like, this literally is beauty in a bottle. Alright, let's quickly talk about Before the Rainbow, because this perfume has taken me by storm. I have become such a huge fan of this ever since I discovered this FINERY line. FINERY is a new fragrance brand at Target. It's a Target exclusive brand, and a lot of their perfumes, actually all of their perfumes, are like mimic perfumes, so they mimic a lot of higher end perfumes. This specific one is supposed to be a dupe of Wood Sage and Sea Salt by Jo Malone, which I talked about earlier. My puppy is dreaming. So he was dreaming over there. But anyways, back to this perfume. This is so good. This is like a citrusy aromatic scent. Seriously, it smells so good. This is going to be so good for the summertime as well. This only has 3 notes: oak moss, salt, and bergamot. It's like a very fresh, citrusy, salty, again, very aromatic scent. They're not dupes, but it kind of falls in the same category as Max Aquatic for me. And Max Aquatic is another really good, more like aquatic aromatic scent that I freaking love. And this is definitely kind of in the same family. They're not exactly like spot on dupes, but they definitely fall in the same family of like aromatic, kind of salty, aquatic, fresh, citrusy scents. I've already made a little dent. I really want to pick up the body spray of this and layer them together just to kind of get more out of the scent and maybe a little bit more of like a longer lasting power, because this isn't exactly the best performing scent ever. It lasts about like 3 to 4 hours, and I feel like if I had the body spray and layered them all together, maybe that would kind of help the longevity a little bit. And then the very last springtime scent I have, of course, I have to include DELINA. I feel so basic for talking about this scent because before I even bought this, everyone and their mothers talks about DELINA. And I used to kind of low-key be a hater because I'd be like, oh my god, everybody talks about this scent. Like, can they just shut up about it? But I totally get the hype now that I have this because it is such a unique rose scent, and it's definitely heavy on the rose, but because it has lychee and rhubarb, there's like this bitterness, but there's also a little sweetness. This has top notes of lychee, rhubarb, bergamot, and nutmeg, middle notes of Turkish rose, peony, musk, petalia, and vanilla, and base notes of cashmere, cedar, Haitian vetiver, and incense. This is the epitome of a feminine scent. It embodies femininity, like in a perfume. It is like one of my most feminine fragrances. I feel like this would be another great wedding scent. I need to make like a wedding scent recommendations video now that I'm thinking about it, but if I were to do that, this would definitely be in that. It's a really attractive scent in my opinion, and a lot of people say that this one gets a lot of compliments, especially from men. My husband definitely really does, and it's so weird with this fragrance because what it smells like in the bottle is so different to what it actually smells like on your skin. I would say don't write this off based off of how it smells in the bottle, or even in a like testing strip. You might be like, whoa, that's like too much rose, it's bitter, it's weird. Like, it's a really weird, unique fragrance, so you might be put off if you don't get the experience of what it actually smells like on your skin. If you're actually serious about buying the fragrance, I would say go into a store that has this, a Nordstrom or a Saks store, spray it on you and just see how it wears throughout the day, and then make your judgment based off of that instead of what it smells like out of the bottle or on a tester strip, because on the skin it kind of tends to be more sweet and it just does something magical. Like, it smells 20,000 times better on the skin than what it does out the bottle. It's like it almost becomes entirely a new fragrance, and it just smells so sexy and feminine. That's how I personally fell in love with this fragrance, because I'm gonna be honest, at first when I smelled it, I was like, whoa, why does anybody like this? This is like rose on crack. Like, I definitely don't care for this. But once it actually mixes with your skin chemistry, it just transforms from a caterpillar to a butterfly. It turns into a butterfly. Alright, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys liked my spring perfume recommendations for 2023. Leave me yours. If you have any specific perfumes that you're going to be wearing this season, please leave them down below. But that is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!